What's up, Archons? I'm Flightless Pheasant, and today, or more specifically yesterday, we have an update on the Tokens of Change release date from Ghost Galaxy. I know I'm usually really good about getting these updates out pretty fast, but I was busy yesterday. What can you do? So I'm going to put it out today so that everybody knows and has access to it, and yeah. Here we go. Let's do it. Keyforge Tokens of Change releases this December. I had already heard that through the grapevine, but it's nice to have an official announcement. You know, it really cements things more solidly when we get official announcements for this kind of stuff. It begins with a flavor text blurb. This is one we've gotten before, but it's a really good one. The glowing seals around the corrupt vault pulsed like the heartbeat of a great slumbering beast. 11 seals representing 11 oaths, each empowered by the life force of 1,000 champions who had selflessly martyred themselves for the safety of the Crucible. So much sacrifice, thought Redeemer Amara, and barely a token of appreciation. The dark amber entombed in the vault behind the seals could have been the end of all pure life. Amara was certain of it. Sealing the vault had halted the immediate threat, but the true work had barely begun. I've said it before, I will say it again. I don't know if I've said it on camera, but now I'm about to. I want a Keyforge adventure that takes place during the sealing of the Dark Amber Vault. It sounds like an awesome moment to do an adventure around. Do a co-op adventure. It's just everybody fighting their absolute hardest to seal the 11 seals of the Dark Amber Vault. Obviously, 1,000 creatures per seal is kind of high. It'd probably be more like, I don't know, some number that can be supplemented by Amber to offset how many creatures or something. I don't know. But I like the idea. It sounds cool to me. I think it could be a lot of fun. And of course, you've got mutants pouring out of the vault the whole time, including like waves of dark amber mutation and like pulses of corrupt energy. And I think there's really cool things you could definitely do there. And I want more Keyforge adventures. We didn't get an adventure for Prophetic Visions. Big sad. So I really like this idea. I think it'd be a great idea. I think it'd be a thing worth spending a little bit of development time on. But that's just my opinion. I know not everybody loves the Keyforge adventures as much as I do, but I dearly love them. Alright, so let's move on to the actual meat of this article instead of me just talking about my hopes and dreams. You've been asking, now here's the answer. Keyforge Tokens of Change English Language will release on December 6th, 2024. If you haven't heard of Keyforge Tokens of Change, check out our announcement article. I'm pretty sure that links to the GameFound announcement, but it might be a... I don't think they have announced it on Ghost Galaxy before, so it might be the GameFound announcement. Heck yeah! Tokens of Change in December. I heard some rumors they might be doing a pre-release for this one. There's no confirmation here that they won't, but I'm leaning towards probably no, because if there was going to be one, I think they would have mentioned it. Which I hear that the pre-release for Amber Skies was a little... not huge. There weren't a whole bunch of participants, which doesn't surprise me too much, because you only had 2.5 weeks of warning. But I think with more warning, you could have had more participation. And I think it was still, like, a fun event. I like doing local sealed events. I think those are a lot of fun, and they give a whole lot of opportunity to play around with the sealed format at a more regional level instead of only at GG events. So that's just my 2 cents on the matter. You know I love sealed. It's how I am. This special set will include token creatures for all houses previously not included in Keyforge Winds of Exchange, plus an additional new house, House Redemption. This means Keyforge Tokens of Change will bring you new cards, new creatures, and new house for you to learn, to haul allies as you challenge for the vaults against other Archons. Yes, definitely, there are new cards. Not a lot of them. I'm going to be honest, it's a little on the low side. 8 per house if you don't count the tokens, 12 per house if you do. Remembering, of course, that one of those 8 is a rare that is linked to a specific token. So, in some ways you might say 7, in some ways you might say 8, in some ways you might say 12. But no matter how you cut the onion, not a ton of new cards. Additionally, this is, again, like Amber Skies, a smaller than average set, having about 350 cards as opposed to the normal 400 to 450 cards. I'm okay with it for Tokens of Change, because Tokens of Change is a special set. We all need to remind ourselves this is a special release set. And as such, it's not a core set, and so it's not fair to hold it to the same standards as a core set, right? We don't hold Menagerie to the same standards we hold Grim Reminders. We don't hold Unchained to the same standard. Heck, we don't even hold the Vaultmaster decks to the same standard that we hold core release sets to. And I think that's fair. On the other hand, if development time that went into Tokens of Change is the reason that Amber Skies is smaller than the average set, and in my mind, somewhat underdeveloped, because I do think that that set ended up being underdeveloped. If the reason that that is the case is because they were putting development hours into Tokens of Change, more mutation, and discovery, stop. Knock it off. Pay attention to your core releases. 2 sets a year plus 2 supplemental sets is plenty. You put out 6 sets this year. That's too many. Calm down. But if that's not the reason that Amber Skies is underdeveloped, as surprising to me as that would be, I'd be interested to know what the reason is, because it does feel like Amber Skies is significantly and noticeably underdeveloped compared to even just Grim Reminders or Winds of Exchange, you know, so even just other Ghost Galaxy sets. But I'm okay with it with Tokens of Change because, again, this is a special set. The only thing I wanted out of Tokens of Change was to complete some of the cycles from Winds of Exchange, which it didn't, but it kind of did. It gave us tokens for each house, which is good, but I really wanted outposts, and we only got 3 instead of 7. I really wanted common rarity, make a token, then archive this effects in all 7 houses, and we only got it in 6. I really wanted the 4 power with 3 enhancement pip creatures in all 7 houses, and we kind of got that, except some of them only got 2 pips, and now they like have play and reap effects that make tokens, which is odd, but I guess fine. So I didn't quite get what I wanted out of Tokens of Change, but I got a whole video I'm going to do on the my lore picks from Tokens of Change, which not going to be a long video because there's not a whole lot of new stuff to talk about for that one. But I am also going to do a video talking about my thoughts on Amber Skies, and I'm going to talk about Tokens of Change at the same time because I think they're very closely linked. Not only because they were developed at the same time, but I think a lot of decisions that were made for Amber Skies are a direct result of Tokens of Change being developed at the same time. I could be wrong again. GG, call me out if I'm wrong. If this isn't the case, put it down in the comments. Let everybody know. But I feel like the reason that Amber Skies ended up being smaller than usual, with fewer new cards than usual, and the new house, you know, because everything is smaller, was smaller, and the new house feels like it's underdeveloped and needed more development, and needed more cards, and needed more building of its mechanics, is because you were also doing Tokens of Change at the same time. But I would be happy to be proven wrong. Let's finish it up. Tokens of Change decks are also tournament legal. Awesome. Why not? And then Discovery in 2025. With the release of Keyforge Tokens of Change in December, Ghost Galaxy has made the decision to delay the launch of Discovery until Q1 of 2025. We hope you look forward to this fun-filled set that will serve as the best introduction for new and returning players in the new year. Good. Honestly, that should have been the case in the first place. In fact, I think they should have waited until Q2 or 3, if I'm being perfectly honest, because there is a little bit of a dead space between the release of a new set and the announcement of the game found of the next one, and those 2 dead spaces happen basically right now where we are until about January, when they're going to announce Prophetic Visions, I'm sure. And then the other dead space is going to be when Prophetic Visions comes out, which is going to be probably August, or June through August, somewhere in there. Maybe as early as May, but I would say June through August. And then there's a little bit of a dead space before they'll announce the next game found after that. So, yeah. I think Discovery is a great idea. I think the timing is terrible. This is a little better, pushing it back, 3 months or so. Hard to say exactly because they never gave us a firm release. They just said Q4 of 2024, and now they're saying Q1 of 2025. I hope Discovery does well. I hope it's a set that people are looking forward to. I think there could be some good stuff there. I think having an entry point for the game is a good idea. But yeah, my big takeaway, Ghost Galaxy, slow down. Slow down. I think you're doing too much too fast, and it's starting to affect quality, and it's starting to affect end-user product, and, you know, I had some criticisms for Grim Reminders as well, mostly having to do with the power level of the set, and it feeling like maybe they didn't fully test it all the way. I don't have that same problem with Amber Skies. It does feel like everything we got was pretty thoroughly vetted. It doesn't feel like there's anything too abusive. I mean, there's a couple of combos that are really strong that I don't think they meant to be there. But maybe it's just because it's a smaller set. I don't know. Anyway, that's the news as it is. I'm still working on other videos. Expect Houses of the Crucible Star Alliance soon. Maybe very soon. Expect my lore picks for Amber Skies very soon. Expect my lore picks for Tokens of Change very soon. I'm going to try to get all 3 of those out before Keyforge Celebrations. Expect a video talking about how to get my creator card before Keyforge Celebrations. Spoiler alert, you're going to have to be subscribed to the channel. So if you haven't already subscribed, get down there, click the subscribe button, click the bell, get all my videos. But yeah, that's all I have for you today. So until next time, later, Archons.